the intention was really to take those conversations that we were having in the store over the counter, but we wanted to take them deeper, right? And we wanted to be able to actually give them skill, right? To begin to develop a sense of understanding of the craft of cooking. We also wanted them to actually begin to face, eye to eye, meet the people that were responsible for feeding them. So we would bring ranchers in and they would, talk about their land management practices, their livestock care, and then we would cook together and then eat together as a community around one large table, basically build a relationship, right? And like there's magic happens around the dinner table.
I'm Tom Pollard. Tools for Nomads is brought to you by Top Drawer. Sam Mogannam is the second-generation owner of Bi-Rite Market in San Francisco and founder of the Bi-Rite Family of Businesses, which Forbes named one of the best small companies in the United States. Their mission is creating community through food. Here's my conversation with Sam Mogannam from his home in San Francisco, California. But the idea of what Bi-Rite stands for, the core values and the mission. And it's very inspiring because in today's world, I think what people are doing, at least it appears this way, that people are in business to make money. Mm-hmm. And yes, you need to stay in business and you do that by making money, but it's not about making money. You have a different purpose in what you're doing at Bi-Rite. And if I could just have you hit upon that a little bit and explain those passions and values that you have.
Yeah, totally. And I agree with you. I mean, I think businesses who have a purpose have a magnetism to them that compel like-minded, or curious people to gravitate towards them. And I think what makes Bi-Rite special is that we're really focused on our mission of creating community through food. And the simplest way that I can explain what that means is that we're into building relationships with people, real people. We're into building relationships with the people that we employ, getting to know them and understanding what passions that they have and creating space for them to express those passions. We're really interested in getting to know the people that grow, make, raise the food that we sell, and really interested in getting to know our guests, the people who come in, who support our businesses, who want to be fed by us, right? At the end of the day, we're building a very intimate relationship with each of these stakeholders. We're given this tremendous responsibility of curating and selecting food that is being put into somebody else's body that's going to nourish them. And it's a powerful relationship, and we take it seriously. And whether people recognize it or not, they feel it, and then eventually they want more of it. And our hope is that once they've felt that magic of being fed with intentionality, with care, with love, our first core value is to lead with love, that they then begin to demand that of others. And our hope is that as they demand greater responsibility, intentionality from others, that we see change happen in our world, right? Greater responsibility to the planet, a greater responsibility to our communities, and a sense of collective ownership of where we live and engage with.
That's beautiful, Sam. So I had a conversation with a gentleman who is the manager of one of our stores out in the West, in Valencia. And he said that when he was looking for a place to live, he didn't really care where he lived. He just wanted to be darn sure it was in walking distance of a Bi-Rite. And I said, why? So tell me why. And he went on to tell me about the community and the sense of belonging and purpose. And right in when you were talking, you didn't even say customer about the people who walk in the door. You said the word guests. Mm-hmm. That means we're all one. And so what is that atmosphere that you're creating for these people that would make a guy say, I want to be within walking distance of a Bi-Rite?
I mean, maybe first and foremost, it's delicious, you know. And I don't know anybody in the world who doesn't want delicious, you know. I mean, we all deserve delicious in our lives, and so I think it starts there. It's also sensual and sensory provoking. I mean, it looks beautiful. It smells vibrant. There's energy. There's staff that are knowledgeable about what they're selling and excited about the food that they're selling, and wanting to share their passion and their excitement with those that walk in. And in this current world that we're in this world that's been evolving over the last few decades, we're getting further and further away from that personal sharing of information, right? That sharing of excitement and enthusiasm with each other on a very spontaneous way. I mean, it's like it's happening, and somebody can walk into the store, be in the produce department, connect with somebody who's like, stocking, the fruit, and without even being asked a question, say, "Hey, have you tried this?" And then they'll peel a pixie tangerine or cut a peach or whatever, and let the guest taste it. Or if the guest is asking, which of the peaches is better, the staff member will go and cut 4 different peaches and let the guest taste 4 different peaches so they can decide which peach they like best, right? And that doesn't happen that often. And that might be one engagement. And then they might be standing at the cheese counter and somebody's going to give them a taste of cheese, or go to the prepared foods counter and get a taste of one of our latkes. I mean, it's just like, our souls, our staff, our team, we're fed by feeding people. It feeds us. And I think that energy, it's hard not to want to be around it, because we're losing opportunities to have that as part of our day-to-day lives every day, as things become more anonymous and more technologically based, or artificially intelligence based. There's something magical about just that human to human connection in my mind. I mean, I just like, that's what makes me tick. I know for others, they'd rather just get on their app and place an order or do whatever. But I don't know. There's something special.
Agreed.
I don't want to envision a world where we lose that.
Yeah, Sam, you also talk a lot about it's the people who are working in your store, that you all and we all do as people who really care about the work that we do, that idea of right livelihood, that we're doing something that we're fostering a future for our next generation, if you will. And so I heard you say these words, that we have a responsibility to learn as much as we possibly can and then educate those around us. And I would imagine that would start with the people who are working in your stores. And then that filters down to your guests, because we have the planet, it's not doing too well. No. And more people need to be out there about it, instead of saying, wow, the social media is so negative and so toxic, I'm going to just turn it off and not engage. We've got to get on our feet. We have an opportunity here to speak. And so you talk about that passion and say, you don't care what their passion is. I mean, just as long as they have a passion, bring it to the work.
Yeah, I think it's important. I recognize the passion in you too, and I see maybe a bass behind you, I suspect that you're passionate about music.
Yeah.
And
very much.
And, that's one of the passions that like helps you be expressive about the passions that you have in other aspects of how we, how humans engage, and I look for the same thing. We love musicians, we love artists, we love people who are really focused and committed to something, and who are excited about talking about it, because once they learn to talk about something else, they can be excited about talking about that too, and food food's just part of our day to day, and when we taste something, it just blows our fucking mind,
So
how can
true.
we not how can we not like, get up there and shout out like, hey, and this was grown in a way like actually regenerating the soil, right? That's like not impacting the wildlife that's surrounding the fields, and so it's like you start with something that's delicious, and then you roll in with the environmental impact or the social impact or all of it, when we can hit all of those points, which is what we really try to look for, because it's not just about the environmental impact. We also have to be really concerned about the social impact. Are the workers that are working in the fields being treated well, or are they or in an abusive environment? Are they being exposed to chemicals and
Mm.
also struggling with their own health? And we can't just ignore what's happening, outside of our walls. We've got to just understand that every decision that we make has an impact on a wide array of members of our community. And we have to
Mm.
recognize that they are members of our community, whether we see them, know them or not. They are members of our community.
You're listening to my April 2023 interview with Sam Mogannam from his home in San Francisco, California. Tools for Nomads is brought to you by Top Drawer, topdrawershop.com. Now back to my conversation with Sam Mogannam. Sam, the thing that we've been talking and ruminating about a lot is that idea of lost skills as we move into this modern age. And not to say that being able to communicate on a phone or change the time of a meeting or something, but that idea that we're losing touch with skills that were important, that we had to have 100 years ago. And so at Bi-Rite, in your community, you're teaching people how to cook. Like some people, they don't even know how to cook spaghetti, right? So you're giving people the tools and the knowledge and empowering them. So could you just tell me a little bit about the cooking school? That is just such a brilliant and beautiful idea.
Yeah, when we started 18 Reasons, and we're celebrating our 15th anniversary this year,
Wow.
the intention was really to take those conversations that we were having in the store over the counter, talking to people about how to cook pasta, or how to make a bolognese sauce, or whatever it was, right? I mean, and those opportunities that we had to talk about our farmer, or our rancher,
Mm.
and to and those conversations, would be a minute, 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, right? Depending on how long somebody wanted to engage in the conversation, or how long we could hold their interest. But we wanted to take them deeper, right? And we wanted to be able to actually give them skill, right? To begin to develop a sense of understanding of the craft of cooking. We also wanted them to actually begin to face, eye to eye, meet the people that were responsible for feeding them. So we would bring ranchers in, and they would, talk about their land management practices, their livestock care, and then we would cook together, and then eat together as a community around one large table, and basically build a relationship, right? And like there's magic happens around the dinner table. And so that's how it started. So we would have these combination of lecture cooking kind of experiences. Then we started doing actual just basic cooking experiences. Still, the most popular class that we teach is basic knife skills. Every time we put the basic knife skills class out, we teach it usually 3-4 times a month. It's one of the first classes that sells out because people want to develop the skill set, right? And the magic of that class as well is that all the students are like learning how to cut vegetables, the different cuts. They're learning how to like cut up a chicken, and then they cook together, and then they eat all the food that they prepped together. as a family around the table, right? And there's strangers who didn't even know each other, and a relationship is built at that point, and they're getting to meet their neighbors. And so there's just so much more that happens when those opportunities are created than just learning a craft. And I think learning a skill, I think, is really critical. I think people definitely feel capable and empowered. I love that you use that word, because that is, our mission is to empower our community with the knowledge and creativity they need in order to be able to take care of themselves and to be more engaged in the world. It just builds their confidence, and it makes for I think it just makes for a healthier society.
Sam, I have just a couple more minutes with you. So, not even about running a business or creating community. You obviously love what you do. There's a glow around you. Like,
Thanks, man.
yeah. You wake up early. I don't know if you go to bed early so you can wake up with the sunshine, but there are probably not enough hours in the day to reach people. I saw people bumping in during the interview that you did with Doc, like a guy hugging you and whispering something funny in your ear. And then you walked into the cooking school and people going, "Oh, it's good. You're doing what you were put on this planet to do," it seems.
I feel that. I feel really lucky, Doc, to be able to do that, Tom. Yeah. And I don't know. I've been given lots of opportunity to make choices in my life, and I've chosen to pursue what makes me happy, and I feel like it's a privilege to have been able to do that, and I don't take it for granted, and know that others have not been able, to do that for whatever their circumstances are, and so it's something that I have a great deep appreciation for.
If I could just ask you one last question. So, imagining that somebody might be listening or watching this, not really sure what the career path is or what they're on this planet to do, finding their calling, opening their arms to the universe and saying, "Arrive, I'm ready." Any advice or thoughts for those people, any age either?
I don't know. I'm right now, with just how rapidly technology is advancing, especially artificial intelligence. I think the most important thing is that we believe in each other, that we believe in humanity, that we pursue deeper relationships with each other and not rely on technology to bring us together, not rely on technology for all the information that we have access to, but to leverage storytelling, to leverage generational storytelling. I think there's just so much to learn from generations that are older and generations that are younger. I spend as much time being curious with young people as I do with older people, because they see the world in very different ways, and it just helps me see the world in a way that I can be a better participant in it. And I just I'd like to encourage more people to be intentional about how they can be better participants in the world, in relation to each other.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for your time and for what you do. I cannot wait to step foot inside one of your stores and maybe go see your farm someday and observe its beauty and maybe document it a little bit more as well.
Right on, Tom.
Thanks for visiting. I'm Tom Pollard. We'll see you next time on Tools for Nomads.